Explore the gritty and unpredictable world of police work in our latest compilation. Delve into the 35 most disturbing times cops arrested real gangsters, where every arrest tells a story of courage, danger, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Get ready for a gripping look at law enforcement's most intense moments. A tense situation escalates as police officers move in to make a critical arrest. Police officers escort several men out of a building, each handcuffed and subdued. The atmosphere is charged with tension as the officers carefully manage the situation. The scene shows how the law affects people and the results of their actions as the arrested people realize what is happening to them. This is why you shouldn't walk late at night. Imagine being on the road and you experience this type of incident.
Put your hands up! Stop right there! Stop right there! Stop! Put your hands up!
The residents of this street experienced an unusual encounter as their peaceful night was disturbed with the shouts from a policeman chasing a gang member down the road.
Don't grab it!
The cop chases the gangman with his gun pointed out. He asks the gangster to stop, but the man doesn't yield. The cop does all he can to prevent having to use his gun, so he runs after the gangster until him and his partner catch up with the man.
Put your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Hands
now.
up. Drop it. Drop it. Put your hands behind your back. Got it?
The gangster keeps on resisting, but eventually he is handcuffed. He is caught with handguns, ammunitions, and body armor. Under the cover of night, a tense operation unfolds as heavily armed officers carry out arrests. In the dead of the night, the quiet is pierced by the presence of heavily armed officers executing arrests. The atmosphere is tense, each movement measured and deliberate. A man in a striped shirt, limping and with bandages on his left leg, is escorted by two officers. They support him by the shoulders, carefully leading him towards the waiting van. As the first detainee is secured, two other men, dressed in pitch-black shirts, are also guided into the van. The scene is charged with a palpable sense of urgency and control as the officers methodically complete the operation. This armed suspect make a really bad choice about his escape plan. Find out what he did.
Hey, there's a Seattle police stop.
Yeah, 13, that's on a bicycle. He's southbound on 12th.
The cops start out calmly at first, just trailing behind the suspect. But when he commands the suspect to stop, and instead the suspect rode his bicycle faster, the cops turned on his sirens and chased the criminal faster.
Hey, please stop!
This criminal must think his bicycle has turbo powers because even after he is cornered by the cops, he keeps on trying to ride as fast as he can rather than take off running.
Hands behind your back! Hands behind your back now! Hands behind your back!
2 Unit 13, 1 detained, under control.
The suspect is arrested and taken to jail. His bicycle couldn't help him this time. In the cool hours of the night, a dramatic scene unfolds captured by a dashcam. Under the cover of darkness, dashcam footage reveals a masked man running frantically. The urgency of his flight is palpable, adding tension to the scene. Two men join the chase. Their coordinated effort highlights the high stakes of the pursuit.
Right. I'm detaining you now under Section 1 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. Yes, I am. You're being stopped for a stop and search because you're matching the description of somebody.
A woman steps into the frame, documenting the incident and interviewing the suspect. She commands him to reveal his hands, creating an intense moment of confrontation.
In the area, okay.
Involved in what?
In a series of robberies in the area, right? Because the description we've been given is a male in grey tracky bottoms and a black jacket.
As the situation reaches a critical point, two police officers arrive and promptly handcuff the suspect. They proceed to collect his IDs, phone, and other personal items, methodically securing evidence and bringing the chaotic scene under control. A CCTV camera captures a series of unsettling events involving a group of criminals and their subsequent capture.
Caught right in the act and fully armed, the police reveals the CCTV footage as one of the syndicates in their large numbers last Tuesday.
The footage reveals a group of individuals with dangerous materials aggressively rummaging through a resident's room. The ominous presence of the mob creates a tense atmosphere as they search for valuable items.
Painstaking efforts through investigations by the Otago Police Division with the aid of the available evidence led to the success and arrest of these suspects.
Local police respond swiftly, arresting several prime suspects. The camera shows them being escorted to an open space, their faces obscured by face masks to protect their identities.
Alleged to be prime suspects in the murder of an online taxi driver by name Ugu Bonaventure about a week ago.
In a separate clip, the CCTV footage captures two of the suspects in the act of stealing a large TV screen from an apartment. The theft adds to the mounting evidence of their criminal activities. An unsuspecting firearmed suspect is surrounded by the police. He had no idea what is coming at him next.
Suspect. My police, get a floor! Get a floor, they now! On your front! Front your front now!
The cops rush at him before he is able to react to the situation. Then they shout out for him to get on the floor and begin searching him.
Across the capital, police have raided dozens of addresses in recent weeks in a crackdown on the criminal gangs involved in gun crime.
The suspect is eventually identified as 20-year-old Tyrell McCoy, and they discover he is armed with a pistol and clip of ammunition. He is then jailed. A man riding a scooter is suddenly blocked by a police car from the front and another from behind, and turned into a shocking event. A man rides a scooter and he suddenly gets blocked by two police vehicles. Realizing he can't escape, the man abandons the scooter and takes off running. The police officers quickly give chase on foot, determined to catch him. The pursuit is brief but intense, ending when the man crashes the scooter. The officers swiftly apprehend him, bringing the situation to a close with an arrest. A gripping scene unfolds as two men are detained and transported by police under distressing circumstances. The footage shows two men, visibly wounded, being placed in the back of a police van. Both men have bandages on their legs, likely resulting from the confrontations during their arrest. The man on the left side of the van struggles to lift his injured leg, his face contorted in pain. His severe injuries highlight the intense nature of the police intervention and the physical toll it has taken. An intense confrontation plays out as police detain suspects involved in a violent assault. The scene opens with four men, arrested by police for assaulting a youth, being paraded on the street. They are seen holding their ears, an unusual form of punishment, and are made to recite statements, adding to the public spectacle.
गुंडागर्दी पाप है, पुलिस हमारी बाप है। गुंडागर्दी पाप है, पुलिस हमारी बाप है। गुंडागर्दी पाप है, पुलिस हमारी बाप है। गुंडागर्दी पाप है, पुलिस।
Simultaneously, the screen reveals disturbing footage of the mob attacking the youth with rods, providing a grim context to the police action and highlighting the severity of the assault that led to these arrests. A dramatic arrest unfolds in a parking lot as police officers detain multiple suspects. Footage reveals a parking lot where police officers are seen apprehending 6 men. The men are swiftly handcuffed and placed beside a car, their expressions a mix of fear and resignation. The suspects are then escorted to kneel beside a wall, further emphasizing the gravity of the situation as the officers prepare to conduct further investigations. The tense atmosphere underscores the seriousness of the arrests. A tense dashcam footage captures the critical moments of a high-stakes arrest.
Stand by, stand by.
That's right, 5 vehicle sighted, that transit.
It has just been sighted in the head by another one of our units.
The dashcam footage reveals 2 police officers patrolling the road, their focus clearly fixed on a vehicle of interest. The camera captures their vigilance as they maneuver through traffic.
So he's coming across here.
I'm directly behind, it's on the side indication.
So he's coming down here.
7-0 permission.
There it is.
The officers swiftly pull over the targeted car amidst heavy traffic. They interrogate the occupants, revealing a chaotic scene with shopping items scattered inside, hinting at a recent high-end shoplifting incident.
Fortunately, it's something that we see quite a bit.
You gotta keep yourself out of trouble, mate. You're only young, yeah?
We managed to get them stopped right outside the address that they were intending on getting into with all these stolen goods, so we've got there just at the right time.
As the footage progresses, the gang is seen being arrested, with police officers providing commentary on the case. The detailed scene highlights the severity of the crime and the thorough response by the authorities. A sudden chase on the highway turns into a dramatic pursuit, ending in a tense showdown.
Come on, dude. Go, 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 go.
The dashcam captures a blue vehicle on a highway, seemingly targeted for an arrest. The situation escalates as the car unexpectedly speeds off, prompting the police vehicle to initiate a high-speed chase. The pursuit is intense, with both vehicles racing down the road.
Clear. Which way to go?
Advise subjects running northbound.
The blue car veers off course and crashes into a ranch fence. The passengers quickly flee the scene, scattering in different directions. The urgency of the situation is palpable as the police officers move in.
Right back. Inglés. What?
One of the officers is seen sprinting after a suspect, gun drawn, as the man lies on the ground. The officer swiftly handcuffs the culprit, bringing the tense encounter to a dramatic close. What starts as a high-speed pursuit quickly spirals into a dangerous encounter.
On June 12, 2024, out of Atlanta, Georgia, police are attempting to arrest 4 men involved in a shooting. The 4 men are in a local gang called the Besties in Tessin.
A police car races after a black vehicle speeding recklessly down the highway. The black car weaves dangerously through traffic, narrowly avoiding collisions with other vehicles. The tension mounts as the chase intensifies. From a top view, the black car is seen approaching an intersection, suddenly confronted with an incoming vehicle. In a desperate maneuver, the car skids and comes to a screeching halt, narrowly avoiding disaster. The police car swiftly closes the distance.
Hey, coming up on your 6, coming up on your 6. Hands. Don't you move. Hands up.
As the police catch up, the driver attempts to flee the scene, but the officers are quick to respond. The 3 other occupants are pulled from the car, handcuffed, and taken into custody, bringing the intense chase to a dramatic end. In the dead of night, police officers apprehend a man, and it turns out to be his worst nightmare. He is visibly limping, with one leg appearing injured. Nearby, a motorcycle lies on the ground, battered and in ruins. The scene is quiet yet tense, with the faint sound of distant traffic contrasting the somber atmosphere. The officers, keeping a watchful eye, ensure the man remains compliant as they manage the situation. The wrecked bike adds a layer of mystery, suggesting a potential incident leading to the arrest. This cop is looking for something. He walks slowly through the quiet street. Then he finds what he's looking for and bolts towards it. What could it be? As the cop walks quietly down the quiet road, apparently he is searching for a teenage boy who is a crime suspect. He finally spots him and begins running towards him.
Stay in the street! Come on, Pete!
The race is long, so the cop eventually calls for backup. The cop eventually catches up with him and arrests him. What begins as a peaceful gathering rapidly spirals into chaos as tensions rise between students and authorities. A large crowd of students assembles, possibly protesting, their voices raised in unison. The atmosphere is charged as police officers move in, intensely grabbing and arresting individuals from the crowd. Commotion erupts, with students frantically holding up cameras and phones, capturing the unfolding drama. The scene is a flurry of activity, emotions running high as the situation escalates. Heavily armed officers push through the throng, their presence heightening the tension. The crowd parts as they move, a palpable sense of unease hanging in the air. The scene unfolds with a palpable tension as a police van becomes the epicenter of a major arrest. A police van is parked with people gathered around it, their eyes fixed on the unfolding drama. Officers move with purpose, creating an atmosphere of suspense as they secure the area and prepare for action. They are methodical in their actions, maintaining control of the situation. In a well-coordinated maneuver, the culprits are subdued, handcuffed, escorted, and loaded into the back of the van. The gravity of the situation is evident, with the crowd watching as justice is carried out, underscored by the stern presence of law enforcement. In a tense confrontation, soldiers surround a blue car prepared for a dangerous encounter. A group of soldiers encircle a blue car, their presence imposing and vigilant. One soldier cautiously approaches the driver's side, setting the stage for a high-stakes moment. Suddenly, chaos ensues as two soldiers forcefully restrain a man, their actions quick and decisive. They secure him with handcuffs amidst the struggle. Another soldier secures a second man, swiftly handcuffing him as the situation intensifies. The scene is chaotic and charged with tension. The tension reaches a peak as 6 soldiers overpower a man attempting to escape. They use force to subdue him, ensuring that no one gets away in this dramatic and intense operation. Under a tense and watchful eye, a large group of suspects face the consequences of their actions.
2,000 inmates stripped to their open. It's believed to be the largest prison in the Americas with a capacity for...
Dozens of arrested suspects are lined up, forced to sit on the ground wearing only white shorts. The scene is orderly, yet intimidating, with the gravity of the situation reflected in their expressions and the strict discipline enforced by the authorities.
Human rights organizations have reported that innocent people have been caught up in the law enforcement campaign.
The suspects are herded into a large vehicle, a somber procession as they are transported to a detention facility. Upon arrival, they are systematically processed, chained, and led into a building. Scans are taken, documenting their identities, before they are escorted into their cells, marking the end of their freedom. In the midst of a seemingly ordinary shopping day, chaos erupts as 2 armed robbers strike. A busy shop filled with customers suddenly becomes the scene of a crime as 2 armed robbers burst in, brandishing bats and smashing goods. The panic is palpable as shoppers react to the sudden violence, unsure of what will happen next. The scene is captured from 2 angles. One video shows the robbers violently destroying merchandise, while the other captures a swift response from police and bystanders. The robbers are apprehended and led outside, bringing the tense situation to a close. As the robbers are escorted out, the relief among the police and civilians is evident. In a moment of solidarity and victory, those who intervened gather for a photo, capturing the aftermath of a daring and successful intervention. In a split-second decision, a car crashes into a petrol station, sparking a tense pursuit. A black car barrels into a petrol station, coming to a screeching halt. The situation escalates as one of the passengers leaps out of the vehicle and takes off running, the urgency in his movements palpable. A police officer swiftly gives chase, the pursuit unfolding with a sense of imminent danger. The officer races after the fleeing suspect, closing the distance in a matter of moments. In a dramatic end to the chase, the officer tackles the suspect from behind, bringing him down. The suspect is subdued, and the tension of the moment dissipates as the situation is brought under control. A police motorcycle is in hot pursuit of another bike carrying a man and a woman, weaving through traffic with reckless abandon. The chase is intense as they narrowly evade several vehicles. The pursued bike takes a sharp, hazardous turn, losing control and skidding across the road. Both the man and woman are thrown off, tumbling onto the pavement. The police bike quickly catches up, and the officers swiftly move in to arrest the pair. The dramatic chase concludes with the suspects apprehended. A police car cruises down a road approaching an intersection, suddenly starts chasing a vehicle, and the unexpected happened. As the police car crosses the intersection, a car comes into view, suddenly surrounded by 3 police vehicles. In a dramatic move, the police cars block and fiercely pin the vehicle from all sides, preparing for an arrest. The officers smash the car's windows, creating a chaotic scene. Smoke begins to billow from the car's bonnet, heightening the tension. After a tense standoff, the officers manage to pull the man from the vehicle, swiftly arresting him. A cyclist casually rides down a road lined with parked cars, unaware of the unfolding drama. Suddenly, a man being pursued on foot by police appears, running frantically to escape.
Trauma.
In a surprising turn, the cyclist quickly maneuvers his bike to block the fleeing suspect, causing him to stumble and fall. The pursuing officers swiftly catch up, apprehending the man as the cyclist watches the unexpected scene unfold. The quick-thinking cyclist proves to be an unexpected hero in the chase. A routine arrest takes an unexpected turn when a man dressed in black is pinned against a car for a thorough search. As an officer pulls out a small white piece of paper, placing it carefully on the car's bonnet, the man suddenly attempts to consume the potential evidence. Despite his efforts, the officers continue their search, ensuring he's properly restrained and the situation remains under control. What the man tries to hide could hold the key to a larger investigation. A tense crackdown inside a large building leads to the apprehension of several gang members. The scene opens with police officers storming a large building, swiftly apprehending a number of gang members. The suspects are led out, their expressions grim as they realize the gravity of the situation. The arrested men are lined up against a wall, forced to kneel as officers secure them in handcuffs. The atmosphere is heavy with the finality of the moment as the suspects face the consequences of their actions under the watchful eyes of law enforcement. A harrowing scene unfolds as an officer brutally assaults a man in a disturbing display of excessive force. In a stark and unsettling moment, the footage captures a man being subjected to a severe beating by an officer. As the man lies defenseless on the ground, the officer continues to unleash a flurry of punches and kicks, escalating the violence. The brutal nature of the assault is evident, with the man's pleas and struggles offering a chilling contrast to the relentless aggression of the officer. The scene highlights a deeply troubling abuse of power, leaving a lasting impression of the brutal reality faced by the victim. As darkness envelops the night, a high-stakes police raid unfolds with intense urgency. In the dead of night, a squad of police officers executes a dramatic raid on a house. Their flashlights pierce through the shadows as they break through the door. Inside, a man in a red top is seen sitting on the bed, his hands handcuffed behind him, a grim indication of his involvement with a notorious cocaine gang. The raid reveals a trove of illicit materials, bundles of cash, luxury cars, and a truck filled with confiscated cocaine. The operation marks a significant victory in the fight against organized crime, showcasing the determination and effectiveness of the law enforcement team in dismantling a dangerous drug operation. A high-speed pursuit takes a dramatic turn as law enforcement closes in. The scene opens with a car desperately fleeing from pursuing law enforcement. The tension mounts as the vehicle speeds recklessly, with officers in hot pursuit. In a dramatic escape attempt, the passengers of the speeding car leap out, jumping at high speed to evade capture. Their daring move is a last-ditch effort to avoid being caught. The car, now driverless and uncontrollable, plunges into a nearby river. As the vehicle is swallowed by the water, it rapidly sinks, disappearing beneath the surface. The dramatic conclusion of the chase leaves a tense atmosphere, highlighting the perilous nature of the situation. In the cool hours of the afternoon, a tense pursuit reaches a critical moment. From the dashcam of a police car, a high-speed chase unfolds as the vehicle zooms after a fleeing car. The pursuit intensifies, with every second adding to the suspense. The chased car suddenly comes to a halt, marking the climax of the chase. The police swiftly surround the vehicle, ready to secure the scene. 3 men are forcibly pinned to the ground by the officers, their movements restrained as handcuffs are snapped onto their wrists. The scene is chaotic, with the men struggling as they are apprehended. The police inspect the damaged vehicles, their shattered exteriors bearing witness to the dramatic chase. Additionally, the officers check the suspect's boots, searching for any concealed items or evidence. The thoroughness of the operation reflects the seriousness of the situation and the diligence of the law enforcement. An intense confrontation unfolds as law enforcement takes drastic action. In a dramatic scene, a biker is forcibly pushed off his bike by a group of police officers. The sudden shift in momentum is startling as the biker is thrown onto the ground. The situation escalates rapidly. As the biker struggles on the ground, the officers begin to deliver multiple head stomps, their aggression palpable. The scene is chaotic, with the biker clearly overwhelmed by the sudden and brutal force. The violence continues as the police officers' actions become increasingly harsh. The biker, now pinned down, is subjected to relentless stomping. The atmosphere is fraught with tension, highlighting the severity of the altercation and the uncompromising stance of the officers involved. The brutality of the encounter is starkly evident, underscoring the high-stakes nature of the confrontation. In a dramatic showdown, law enforcement confronts a heavily adorned suspect and his gang. The scene opens with a man dressed in an array of charms, a symbol of his alleged involvement in dark practices. The police move in, arresting him and his gang with precision. The tension escalates as officers use a cutlass to painstakingly remove the charms from the suspect, revealing the gravity of the situation. Each charm is cut away with careful attention, symbolizing the dismantling of the suspect's mystique. Finally, the man and another gang member are seated on the floor, their hands bound. The scene underscores the intensity of their capture and the efforts to strip away their symbolic protections. In the dead of the night, a tense arrest unfolds under the dim glow of streetlights. A solitary figure, illuminated by the harsh lights of the police vehicle, is apprehended by officers. The man, visibly distressed, is seen limping on one foot as he's escorted. The scene intensifies as the injured man is guided into the back of the police vehicle. His struggle is palpable, highlighting the gravity of his situation and the night's dramatic turn of events. 3 men lie prone on the ground in the dead of night, shortly after being arrested. It's an intense scene. The guys who have been arrested stay perfectly still, their expressions devoid of hope, under the harsh glow of lights. As people assemble, tension begins to arise. The black surroundings are broken by the bright beams of light produced by phone cameras flashing on. The men's predicament is glaringly apparent in the luminous camera lights, capturing the arrest's unadulterated reality.